whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Change is good for everybody. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Montana. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Better than it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. When that hate don't work, they start telling lies.
That's right. Warren Sapp on the mic, doing what you like, giving it to you how no other. The QB killer gives it to you. And now we back on Route 99. The World Cup has kicked off in Russia. The Soviets 5-0, getting it done. Putin looked like he wasn't happy. Ain't no telling what's going on over there with that. The U.S. Open is going at Shinnecock right now, getting the thing going, ready to go. And the PGA at the U.S. Open is extracting a little revenge on the field. Tiger Woods +8, Phil Mickelson +7, Jordan Spieth +8, Rory McIlroy +10. They're taking a bite out of him. Up in the Hamptons, Southamptons, Shinnecock, one of the great golf courses in America. I was so privileged. I've went out there and hacked it around a little bit. But if you look at the last three major champions in the PGA, the Open, the Masters, and the PGA, a combined -46. -46 on par in major championships. The PGA took note of that, and they're extracting it out right now. They are having a hard time, and they are complaining, and it was just Thursday. Oh, the first round. But that's what it is, and that's what it's going to be. Got to go out there and get it done. Route 99, we're in the slow NFL season right now, so not a lot of news, but I just happened to look up, and Myles Garrett took a real swipe and said he wouldn't take the easy route. Well, good thing you were in Cleveland, young man, because that's not an easy route. I went to Tampa, and they told me I couldn't get to the playoffs. I told them, you're crazy. I'm going to bring a championship to Tampa. We're going to have a parade. Me, Derek Brooks, John Lynch, Simeon Rice, and some more hard-hitting brothers, and John Gruden. We got it done. Oh! Speaking of John Gruden, he's not happy right now. The collective bargaining agreement does not allow him to run 150 plays in the offseason as much as he wants and bring the boys in and just get that offense all wired in and all the calls that you have to make in Gruden's offense. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to give you a little taste. Boom right west short, 358, ZN, X dagger. And if it's a blitz, check it, the Spider 2 Y banana. Yeah, you got to get all that out and get everybody on the same page. So you need a little time to get that done. Right now, John Gruden does not have enough time, and he's not happy. And I don't think a lot of people are happy right now in the offseason. We got a lot of people holding out. Aaron Donald, the defensive player of the year, number 99 in your program, number 1 in your heart. The big man is working. I've seen him on his Instagram. He over there working. I like that step a little short on that little tug you doing. But other than that, you got it going. Julio Jones, the main receiver of Matty Ice. Matty Ice not worried. I wouldn't either, because Julio going to be there for you. Earl Thomas, one of the premier safeties in the game right now. Look like they're headed for a divorce up in Seattle. The Legion of Boom is no more. Nice little nickname. It was cute what they did in the Super Bowl. Khalil Mack, 39% of the sacks in Oakland. Ooh, well, you got to find some money for that young man. Hey, John, you and everybody out there in Oakland, y'all got to find some money for the young fella, get him in there. Andrew Luck. You know what? Andrew Luck played the quarterback position like a linebacker, and now his shoulder is like a linebacker. It's hurting. But I want him back, one of the premier quarterbacks in the National Football League, and he can get it done all by himself. Throw the interception, make the tackle, then drive you back and win the game. Yeah, he's that capable. I want to see him back and fast. Odell Beckham. Ooh, ODB. New York got a lot of situations going on right now. I don't think that running back is the answer, because I know the National Football League and we don't hand the ball off 30 times no more. It just don't happen, folks. It's not what we do with the ball anymore. We put it in the quarterback's hand and throw it around. Josh Gordon say the Cleveland Browns have the finest receiving core in the National Football League. Now, I was just thinking to myself, like, okay, the Landry guy got there. He's the slot. Josh is out wide. And I was trying to think of the other guy's name. And I'm like, how can you have the finest receiving core and I can't even name the 3 receivers off the top of my head? That's cute. But the one thing Antonio Brown told me on his Instagram, I was looking and standing beside his beautiful big quarterback, he said, you can't be a great receiver without a great quarterback. So, Josh, we're going to see if your 6'1" under 6'1" quarterback can find a throwing lane in the middle of winter in Cleveland. Now, that in itself is work. That in itself is work. But speaking of work, we want to congratulate the Golden State Warriors. Sweep. And what is the rumbling about Kevin Durant? Now, it's one thing if you go to a team that won 60, 73 games and didn't win a championship. Now, let's put a note on that. Did not win a championship. So when you don't win a championship, you go looking for something that gets you a championship. Now, if I win 73 games, beat Michael Jordan's record, and don't get a championship, damn right I'm going to go find me somebody who's going to put the finishing touches on this thing because 73 wins wasn't enough. And Kevin Durant is the ultimate unstoppable weapon that I've ever seen. I've been watching the NBA basketball for 30 years. So that young man there is just ridiculous. And I don't understand all the hate. I'm not going to take the easy route out. Really? LeBron James went down and got with D. Wade and Chris Bosh. I never considered Chris Bosh a star unless he was above, the border up in Canada because he was doing work in Toronto. But when he got to Dade County, well, they call it Wade County because D. Wade did his thing, baby. So, we can't even sit here and talk about this, man, for me, because when you got the game on the line in Game 3, you on the road, and the 2 other stars, I guess, Steph Curry will be considered the greatest shooter ever maybe one day if he continues on the tear he's going. And Klay Thompson, who loves to shoot it, they both have 21 points. 21, 22, 10, and 11. Kevin Durant got 43. And he taking the easy route? Nah, it's tougher to carry superstars around than it is to carry bums because you ain't getting nothing out of a bum and he's just going a bunch of rebounds and fouls. That's easy. You, whatever I get out of him is a bonus. But now I have 2 gentlemen that come to the gym that score 20-plus points. The Dubs score 20-plus points, and together they come up with 20. Kevin Durant's a monster. There's no denying it. There's no hiding from it. He didn't take the easy route out. He went there, and they said, all right, big boy, you're our offense. We're running it through you. And back-to-back years, he's come back with NBA titles and MVPs. That's not an easy route, ladies and gentlemen. That's called getting it done. Episode 5, Route 99, QB Killer on the mic, doing what you like, telling you how it is in no uncertain fashion. And I'm not avoiding the elephant in the room. I just happened to be in Costa Rica on a fishing trip where I was, doing that bucket list thing that I love to do. And I was after me a rooster fish. And mission accomplished. Got a beautiful rooster fish. Check the Instagram at Warren Sapp, no doubt about it. Subscribe. Route 99 podcast. No doubt about it. I need you.
When that hate don't work, they start telling lies.
Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens. That's what it is, because it's Terrell Owens. I don't know too many brothers named Terrell. I know a bunch of Terrells. So he decides he's going to call the Hall of Fame the most inspiring place on the face of the earth and says he's not coming to the Hall of Fame. Now, I was really emotional when I heard this because I was on vacation and chilling, and to be one of the lucky ones, 300 plus, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, I couldn't understand it. I'm like, what? Because this is a celebration of you, not your team, not your coach, not your team, you. And you invite the great people that you know and love to come and enjoy this festivity in the heartland of America. I mean, one of the great places in America, Canton, Ohio. I mean, if you've never been there, I'll tell you now, you get in the car and you pack the babies up and you take a trip. Because I tell you what, they voted the most inspiring place on earth, but you got to go there and feel it. To be able to walk with the ghost of the game. Every year, I'm a kid in the candy store. I start my selfie off with Jim Brown, and I go down from there because you got to start at the GOAT. I mean, I started to go, and I go in the backfield, and I get all my running backs, and then I go after the quarterback because you know the QB killer just love him some quarterbacks. And then I go get them little receivers and Jerry Rice and all the boys and Tim Brown and Steve Largent. And I mean, you have a good time. The Paul Warfields and, you know, I don't understand it. If you love this game and you get to go to heaven and enjoy yourself with Jim Brown and Floyd Little and all the great ones, and Mean Joe Green walks around like a kid in a candy store getting autographs, you wouldn't believe it, but I'm telling you it's true. And I was thinking about it. And a little later on, I'll have my man Jason Whitlock on this thing, and we're gonna really dive into it because this is something that, you know, after I took all the emotions out, I said to myself, I say, don't think of it as yourself. Think of it as Terrell. What is Terrell doing and what is Terrell thinking? And after being put on the shelf for a couple of years, you know, because I've heard the two worst things in sports is losing a Super Bowl and being good enough to be in the Hall of Fame and not getting inducted on your first ballot. I know nothing of that. I cannot walk you down memory lane. I can't tell you how I how I internalized it or any of that. I'm 2 for 2. I can tell you what it's like to lose an NFC Championship game. I can't tell you what it's like to lose a Super Bowl or not get inducted on your first time around. But I do have a Hall of Fame class that has a genre of it all. Because it's me, Larry Allen, and Jonathan Ogden, who were first ballot Hall of Famers. Chris Carter was in his 3rd year. Bill Parcells was in his 2nd year. But Curly Culp and Dwayne Robinson combined for 57 years to wait for the Hall of Fame. One waited 30 years, the other one waited 27. 27 for Curly and 30 for Robinson. And the great thing about Mr. Robinson was, outside of being the first linebacker to be picked in the first round, and in the 60s, when black men weren't allowed to vote. So to be drafted in the first round as a linebacker in the 60s said everything you want to know about the young man. And then he went out and just had a Hall of Fame career. So I've talked about it all with my classmates and, you know, heard everything you could possibly imagine. And Robinson was on the Hall of Fame committee for years. I mean, volunteering, working with it, going to the Hall every year, doing wonderful things for the Hall, and was never invited in. So when you look at a man that went 30 years, come on, Terrell. Come on to the Hall. Let me sit you down with some of them great guys, man, and have a nice scotch or whatever your drink of preference is. And if it's Kool-Aid or lemonade or whatever, we drink that too. No doubt about it. Come on, brother. The collection of great men at the Hall of Fame have been waiting on you. I promise you this. I've been there for the last 5 years. They've been waiting on you. They've been waiting to say, congratulations, brother. Welcome to the club. I'm waiting to tell you. There will be a gauntlet of 100 gold jackets waiting on you to walk through. There's nowhere in the world you turn down that opportunity. If it is, then I need to speak with you, brother. Route99, what's up? I am privileged to be joined by one of the big talkers, big voices, big everything. And he's trying to get smaller, and I like it. My man, the Kansas City Star. Are you still with Kansas City Star? You ain't with Kansas City Star no more? Jason Whitlock, tell me where you at now. I know you with Fox from somebody. You always everywhere.
Fox Sports. I live in Los Angeles. I've been living in LA since 2010, Warren.
Oh, see, you done go Hollywood on me. That's what it is now?
That is definitely what it is.
That is definitely what it is. That's what I like. If you go do it, just go ahead and admit it to me now. All right. We got to talk about the elephant in the room. I was in Costa Rica when Mr. Terrell Terrell Owens, because I don't know no Terrell. I don't know no black Terrells. I know Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens told the Hall of Fame he wasn't showing up to the Hall. What is going on, man?
Listen, Terrell always wants to be different. Terrell clearly is upset that he wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. But he doesn't realize that this behavior, skipping the Hall of Fame ceremony, is exactly why some people were uncomfortable putting him in the Hall of Fame. I don't get it, Warren. I mean, to me, the Hall of Fame for a black man that's cared anything about football, the Hall of Fame is like getting called up to heaven, and you like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna do
I'll
my
stay in
own thing.
purgatory.
Yeah,
Holy Khalil. You
it's
know what?
crazy.
In all honesty, when me and you first talked about this, you called. You say he will not show up. And I'm like, you're crazy, dog. I can't believe it. I mean, when I was in Costa Rica, you hit me with the I told you so. I couldn't even respond to your tweet till I got back. I said, you know what? I'm like, he called it. He absolutely called it from day one.
Look, I'm really sad about it, to be quite honest, because I think Terrell thinks I dislike him, and I don't. I think Terrell's has an interesting background and life story that makes him unique. And I've just tried throughout his career, any of my criticism has been well intentioned. It's constructive criticism of, there's a better way to do things. And I think there's a better way to handle this Hall of Fame situation than the way he's handling it. Again, let's say he's struggling financially. That's why you want to handle this situation properly, to increase your brand and to increase your leverage to generate revenue by going into the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's doing that. I do, Warren, kind of want to be careful because Terrell has thinner skin than some, and
The whole damn country done got too sensitive.
yes,
I
but
mean, I was watching David Chappelle the other night. He said it's so crystal clear. He was like, everybody done become BAN. I said, oh my goodness.
VAN,
Bitch asses.
huh?
Bitch ass Negroes.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what he said. He said everybody done become bitch ass Negroes. I said, hold on. I mean, just too sensitive. And that's what that's what I thought about. I was like, you know what? Let me take the emotion out. And I was in Costa Rica fishing, got my rooster fish. I come home. I said, you know what? Let me call a good doctor. So I called my man with a PhD because, I like to be around people that, just a little smarter than me in the room because, sometimes you can learn something you learn a lot as a dummy. So I called him and said, let me take the emotions out. What are some of the reasons why this man wasn't going? And he was like, who gonna pay for the party? And I was like, ooh. Hey, no, listen, I've been through this process. And Chris Carter came to me and was like, listen, Sap, the good Lord done put me here so you won't wild out. So we going to go through this together. So me and Chris Carter was going through this thing step by step. So we go up to Canton, Ohio and, go through the little tour and everything and get ourselves situated to sit down with them. And they finna break down the party to us, right? So me and Chris sitting there and they asked us, how many people you got coming, Chris? Chris was like, about up to 250. How about you, Warren? I'm like, I got 100 from Miami, 100 from Orange County, and 100 from Tampa. So I'm 300 plus, right there. So they was like, okay, you get the big tent. Chris, you get the one like everybody else, about 200, 250 people, we can hold that. But Warren, you get in the big tent because you got 300 people. That's $31,000. I'm like, what? All right. I swallowed the 31,000 on the tent because, you got to have enough room to have a party. So
yep.
we on the dance floor. And they pull out this parquet floor with the San Francisco 49ers right in the middle. This Jerry Rice's dance floor. And, they showing this to Chris Carter because, the receivers are in competition all the time. So Chris looks at that and says, how much is that dance floor right there? $50,000.
Wow.
Chris say, can I change the wood in the middle and put the Vikings right in there? The lady said, we throw it away after. Chris like, what? A $50,000 dance floor? Y'all just trashed it? They was like, yeah, we don't have a storage. We're going to store it in there. So I got finished with the tent and the dance floor, Whitlock. And I was at $41,000. And I didn't have a drop to drink or a morsel to put in nobody's mouth and eat. I ain't had nothing yet. And I was at $41,000 just with the tent and the dance floor. So that point hit home.
So tell me this. That's a great point. So does the Glazier family and the Buccaneers come in and support you?
Oh, I hadn't even made this call. You know, you're thinking, you know, you go to the hall, it can't be that bad. Listen, dog, to have a party with people who show up and be like, what vodka that is, y'all serving? That's gonna cost you about $60,000. To have one that's a good party, but no bells and whistles, just, you know, you can name the liquor, good food, and whatever. I've been at a Hall of Fame party that had Popeye's chicken in it. I'm just gonna tell you this. I've been at a Hall of Fame party that had Popeye's chicken being served, red beans and rice, and the biscuits. I'm telling you this now.
Yep.
So I'm looking at this and I'm like, 90 grand? I'm like, all right, I can stomach 45 myself, and you know, I got a couple people and, you know, a couple corporations. I'll call them up and see if I can get a couple sponsorship, you know, 40, 45, 45. I'm at 90 grand, right? So I call home. I call Tampa. What's going on, baby? Did you call Oakland? I'm like, no. You know, you gotta lie. No. They was like, if there's not one silver and black anywhere in there, we'll pay for the party. What? Boss, we got you. I said, I'll paint it pewter and red. $180,000 later, we had a party, baby. Yes, we had a party with Locke. So when I heard that from the good doctor and said, who's going to pay for the party? I went, ooh, that is a very valid point.
It's a very valid point. And again, this is some of the mistakes T.O. has made in dealing with people that you don't realize can cost you down the road. And that's why I like Michael Irvin's point about, hey, man, how you handle this could affect other people down the road. And so T.O. has an opportunity to be an example and to have other people learn his mistake. And I wish he would go that route. But, yeah, I think because by the time, look, man, you got 300 people that want to come. I know there's a good number of those people that would be looking at Warren like, okay, Warren, I need you to help me get there as well.
Yeah.
There's all this hidden cost.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't have an organization behind you,
you're done.
It's tough.
You're done. No, because the Glazers hit me up and was like, listen, Warren, we have a jet. We're going to take off from Tampa. If any of your people don't have no, you know, hotel room, nothing, the jet's going up, going to have a party. We're going to get back on it. We're going to come back. Man, I called home. I was like, anybody that want to come, y'all run over there and get on the jet, go up, have a party, and come back. They're like, we going. I'm like, well, give me the names. Hey, man, I'm telling you, in the 6 months leading up, the thing I thought about was the crying. You know, because the one thing you see more than anything than a crying Jordan is crying T.O.
Yep.
And I don't know if he can handle 10, 12 minutes of some of the most emotional stuff you're ever going to go through in your life. I mean, woo, boy. You know, unless you're like Jonathan Ogden, you're a rock. I ain't going to cry. And he has his speech all ready to go. I said, Jonathan, you're a bigger man than me, dog. Because I'm finna cry. I'm finna let it go. I gotta let it go. It's too emotional because it's not about your teammates. It's not about your coach. It's just you. And here's your chance to really say, thank you. Because as a little boy, none of us dream of going to the Hall of Fame. We dream of just playing on Monday Night Football and getting a uniform. That's the greatest thing we know is Monday Night Football. If you ask an 8, 10-year-old, what would you rather do, go to the Hall of Fame or play on Monday Night? I play on Monday Night Football. Play on Monday Night Football. You just don't think of the Hall.
Let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
How has the Hall of Fame people reacted to T.O.'s decision?
You know what? I've been very fortunate that I have not made that call. I haven't, because I know they're dealing with so much. Because, you know, when you got a full class like that, you want to make sure everybody have the experience that the Hall gives. It's the most inspiring place on earth. I mean, it was voted that way, and that's what it is. I mean, and they have so much to do. And this is the last thing they want to deal with.
I'm
Like you have a
wondering
gut
if
feeling. You have a
I'm
gut
one.
feeling that his bus will be in Canton, but he won't have a jacket or a ring to show anybody.
I'm wondering if the NFL might step in here, the league, and come up with a couple $100,000 for T.O. to have a good event, and maybe that
Something,
would get him.
man. Give me a reason other than you don't want to join the fraternity of the greatest men to ever play this game, because all of us have been waiting on it. I mean, we've had the discussion. I tell him, Frank, oh man, did that boy? None but the God honest truth come out the mouth of Hall of Famers in that club. I'm telling you. We've been waiting on him to come to the Hall because he's more than worthy. No doubt about that. And that's what I want to share with him, that, brother, when you get in that room with Jim Brown and Floyd Little and, and Mean Joe Green and the crew. I mean, I took a picture with Bob Lilly last year. I mean, I got to see the first ballot Hall of Fame defensive tackle. I mean, I'm a kid in the candy store when I go there. I don't understand. I mean, he's got to be like me, a country bumpkin that just dreamed of one day being around him.
Yeah, listen, as someone who was a mediocre Mid-American Conference player, I am someone that as a kid dreamed of making the Hall of Fame. I had my speech written, the whole thing.
Maybe
And
that's why you didn't get there. You had the wrong priority, bro.
oh yeah, I had it all written out, and look, I got to be 6 foot tall in 8th grade
Ooh.
and just knew I was headed to the NFL. I never grew another inch.
It does have a cold way of showing you. Like some mornings, them fast guys wake up and they ain't just fast no more. You weren't growing no more with.
And so there wasn't a big calling for 6 foot offensive linemen.
What the big calling
But
for 6'2" defensive lineman. They told me I was too small to dominate the game. I couldn't handle it. I'm like, really? Johnny Randall ain't as big as me, and I see him wreaking havoc on Sunday. I think I could take over a couple football games.
yeah, I had the pleasure of watching you play in the Orange Bowl against Nebraska. And that pretty much answered all my questions. They them corn-fed boys they had out there. It was Brendan Stye. I remember all, and you put a clinic on. You did run out of breath in about the fourth quarter though.
Yeah, I
But
got hit in the I got hit in the solar plexus, the little low, right below the belt, and my safety didn't want to tackle Corey Schlesinger because I told Ray Lewis, I said, Ray, make sure the fullback don't have the ball, and we can chase down everything else. Fullback had the ball. Touchdown. Game over. Corey Schlesinger. I still have
that Miami team you played on, man. You and Ray Lewis on the same team. That's some incredible stuff. I don't know how y'all ever got scored on.
Listen, man, we didn't have the safeties we needed. I had one, and I was trying to get McMacken to put him on the other side. I'm like, Coach, just put him on the other side. Then I got the tackle on the other side. That's what he's running. I turned him into a one-handed team. They were only running one way. Unbelievable, man. Don't bring back them good days, man. That's some good football back in the day, brother. And I want to thank you for joining me on Route 99. You Whitlock of Fox Sports, giving it the lowdown because he's a fan. And he wants to see Terrell in the Hall of Fame, just like all the other great ones, because we all dream of it. We all want it. We all have to have it. It's just one of those deals to where, hey, he's in, come on through and do what we do. Have a good time. The party is live. No doubt about it. Route 99, 5th episode. Subscribe, and we just getting started.